Hey, what's going on, my friend? Welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about the roadmap to becoming the total package. So this is your ultimate goal. Become the total package. The all-star quarterback. No matter what deal falls in your lap, you know exactly what to do. You can scramble, you can tuck that ball and run with it, you can hand it off, you can go deep. You have a whole team. You have multiple extra strategies on what to do with that deal. So as I said before, my goal isn't to teach you one way to get 50 deals, but it's actually the opposite. 50 ways to at least do one deal. By when? By when? Within the next 12 months. So you can be financially free by when? By when? Within the next 5 years, and you can do it. Just stick with it. I want this program to become part of your daily routine. Just like you brush your teeth every day, just like you take a shower every day, I hope, right? Just like you do those normal routine things without thinking, I want this coaching program to be a part of your daily routine, doing it daily to the point my words become your words, my thoughts become your thoughts, so eventually my actions, like big checks, baby, woo-wee, will become your actions as well, closing deals left and right. So you have to make this a part of your daily routine, okay? That's my goal. And to become a part of the total package, these are some metrics you need to obtain. And some of the stuff may sound repetitive, right? To drill it home. This is what I want you to do. Again, your goals, you got to have them in your eyesight. Always. Always in front of you. As a constant reminder. Why do you, like I said in Road to Financial Freedom, right? About the billboard for success. Why do these big corporations spend millions, if not trillions of dollars in billboards and advertising, Times Square, of these big billboards? Why? Because they understand that they put an image in front of you repeatedly. It may entice an appetite within you to obtain it. So likewise, you put your goals in front of you all the time, whether it's financial goals, whether it's a certain FICO score, very specific, numerical. That's smart, right? Smart goals. Your goals must be specific, measurable, attainable, action-oriented, results-oriented as well, reasonable, and time specific, time sensitive. Okay? So if you put your goals in front of you all the time, you too will obtain it. So let's get into it. Your FICO score has to be a 720 plus, and keep your credit looking pretty. Debt to credit ratio low, and applying for credit pairing removal if need be. But you want your personal credit to be A1, pretty credit, that Holly Berry credit, looking so fine to every lender. They can't help but say yes to you. Okay? You want to have proof of income, documented income. So if you're wholesaling, see if you can set it up as a business. You might want to reach out to an attorney and see if you can do that. Because you want to have documented income. So I document my income too. And by the way, if you're trying to avoid paying taxes, do not try to prevent to include income in your tax return. So 2014, I claimed losses on my tax returns. I didn't report all the income because I didn't want to pay Uncle Sam. And then I realized in hindsight, when I tried to do a refinance and buy another property, I was halted in my tracks. Why? Because mortgage lenders don't like to see losses on tax returns. But did I still invest in properties? Yes. Only thing I did was just partner with people. And you can do the same thing. I partner and limit my ownership to 19% for multifamily. So yes, it's possible, and yes, you can do the same thing. But I highly recommend you to report the income you receive. So you're receiving cash flow, you're receiving income, you're receiving proceeds from your wholesaling or flipping. Report it on your credit, report it on your taxes. And then the way you get around that is just try to increase your deductions. Whether you deduct home office space, you deduct mileage. That's one of the biggest expenses that most real estate investors don't deduct is mileage. But deducting mileage, keeping track of your miles, home expenses, your cell phone, part of that can be deducted, your internet, things of that nature. And just reach out to your certified public accountant, your CPA, your tax professional for more information on how to reduce your taxes. So just keep in mind, CYA, consult your attorney. I'm not an accountant and I'm not an attorney. Cover your assets, consult an attorney, consult an accountant for more information on legal and tax advice. I'm just telling you from my experiences of what I do. But I always report my income, okay? That's just a side note. So you want to have proof of income because it helps you get qualified for mortgages. Always be networking. Network with partners. Always network to raise capital. And network with people who are doing things bigger and better than you. who have a larger portfolio than you and just pick their brains. You might learn a few tidbits. Like today even I met up with my real estate agent for lunch, and he gave me a good tip. He said, hey, one thing I've learned, because he owns rental properties too, I always like to network with real estate agents who have a portfolio. Not as big as mine, but he has a few properties. He said what he does is he likes to check the water bill every month, because in the city of Pittsburgh, quite often a lot of properties have one water meter. So that means the owner has to pay the water bill. So in my case, I have to pay the water bill for my tenants. But he said track it every month, and if you see a spike where it's a larger water usage than normal, that could be an indication that it's a running toilet. Now tenants, they might not tell you it's a running toilet. Either A, they don't care, or B, they don't know. They might hear and just think it's background noise, and they don't think they have to report it. Now if they see water leaking, then yes, they'll report that. They see a faucet leaking from the tub, sink, the toilet, they will say something about it. But if it's just a running toilet, normally they don't say it, but it's going to increase your water bill. So he said check the water bill, and if you see any spikes, then my friend, you need to move forward and fix it. Just do a property inspection, check every toilet, sink, tub, whatever, and then you can fix it then. Okay? So you want to network. Why? To pick their brains, pick their Rolodex. Gain their best practices and tools of the Titans. They might say, oh, I use this for this. Oh, I use that for that. But you will never know if you didn't network. Okay? So always be networking. All right, and always be learning. Learn, and learn more knowledge. When you network, you learn more. Continue to read books. Continue to go to seminars. Continue to obtain more coaching programs. But don't be that person where you have information overload and you do little to nothing about it. I'm sure you heard of many people. They obtain a lot of information, but they don't put it into practice. So I want to make sure you're always action oriented. Okay, so learn enough. Get it done, then perfect it. That's my model that I live by. Done is better than perfect. Learn enough that you can get the job done. It might not be excellent, but at least you pass. 70%. That's what I mean by that. You pass. And then work on perfecting that grade, perfecting that task, perfecting that strategy to the point you get it to 100% and you master it. Okay? But don't let you not having all conditions being perfect prevent you from getting started, as I stated before in the previous video. Okay, and be cool with starting small. If you have to start with single family, then so be it. As I mentioned, some mortgage lenders want you to start small. They're hesitant in providing you with a commercial mortgage if you're just getting started, with no partners who bring the experience to the table. It's okay. I know you have dreams of grandeur. I know you want to get started. I know you want to be financially free and independent yesterday, but it's okay to get started small. Okay. Many people say, well, how do you eat an elephant? I'm sure you heard that before, the old adage. And the answer is one bite at a time. How did you learn how to walk? One step at a time. Then once you start walking, what happened? You start jogging, then you start running, right? So one step at a time. It's okay to get started small with single family, but always be focused on going bigger. So some people, they do this. They start small and they stay small. But you got to have someone challenge you, and I challenge you. If you already started small, you already did a single family, a duplex, a 3-unit, a 4-unit, you already have some rental properties in your portfolio, I challenge you by next year, go bigger. Double the size of your normal property. If you're used to doing two units, do a 4-unit. Used to doing 4 units, do an 8-unit, 9-unit, a 10-unit. Push yourself. Push it to the limit so that way you can grow. That's called the natural progression of a real estate investor. You want your growth rate to be exponential, not slow and steady and just a slight incline. No, I want you to go like this and then like this, okay? But it's predicated upon you pushing yourself. Some people start off like that. They start small and stay small. Some people, they want to go big, but they can't because they don't have the experience or the portfolio, the credit, the income, the documented income, and so forth. And they get discouraged and they say, you know what, I'm not going to move forward with this. I'm going to try a different strategy. Lack of focus. Like I mentioned before, they pour a little water on that seed and they see nothing grow immediately. They take whatever water they have left, resources, time, energy, and money, and credit, and pour a little on that seed. They don't see no benefits. They don't see the results, the fruit of labor. So then they go to the next. Don't do that. Focus on one strategy at a time, remember? Keep that in mind, just to remind you guys, all right? So I want you always to start small and then go big. Always focus on going big and have your team of advisors let you know if you can go big or not. If you did a two family, ask your mortgage lender or a different mortgage lender, hey, can I do a 6 unit next year? Hey, can I do a 10 unit? Hey, can I increase the loan amount? That's how you do it, even for business credit. Hey, I got 20,000 for my next round. Can I get 40,000? If so, what I need to do to get 40,000? That's the mindset you need to have so you can live that lifestyle, entrepreneurial lifestyle. All right. Keep a tight watch on your time and your expenses. When you start getting properties, it's so easy to lose track of your calendar. Well, for one, you might not even have one if you didn't create it. As I mentioned, I use Google Calendar. I recommend you to use it too to keep track of all your activities. Make sure it's itemized, it's tracked. If it's scheduled, it will get done. So make sure you adhere to your calendar. You knock out some stuff. And also rearrange if need be. You might realize, hey, I outsourced this activity called project management. I don't have to check rents no more. But I do have new activities now. I got to manage the property manager. So I'm going to reach out to this property manager on the 1st and the 15th with this report. I'm going to check these metrics on QuickBooks. I'm not doing QuickBooks no more. Now I outsource that to a bookkeeper. But I'm going to check in with the bookkeeper once a month at the end of the month to tell me what transpired during the beginning of the month. Okay, so keep track of your time as well as your expenses. I cannot stress that enough, because if you're not watching it, one expense can grow. Like I said about the water bill, you might realize, hey, it increased by 10% every month. I didn't even catch that. I could have been saved so much money if I would have did a property inspection, if I was checking the expenses and realized I had a running toilet. If I just would have just checked that after month 1 or month 2. Okay? So keep a watch on your time and your expenses, okay? I know often, I'm speaking on my behalf as well, oftentimes I focus on acquisition. As an entrepreneur, you want to acquire more and more and more and more. You just get a thrill of analyzing deals, finding the numbers, closing on it. I don't have a huge affinity for the building itself, but I just love the deal-making process. I like the wheeling and dealing, the negotiations. I like running the numbers and coming up with creative strategies to finance the property. That's the part I love and I enjoy most. But managing the asset that you currently have is important as well. So you don't want to be so focused on acquiring a new asset and neglecting your old asset. It's like having a new kid. Oh, I love the new baby. Oh, this little baby's so cute. And your kid's like, dang, where's my affection at? Yo, bro, where my love, where my hugs and kisses at, bro? I was your firstborn, bro. What's up? You don't want your oldest son or daughter telling you that, right? So likewise, you don't want to buy your third rental property and you're showing all this love and attention, checking the numbers and so forth, and you neglect your other kids, your 2 unit, your 3 unit that you bought 2 years or 3 months ago. You want to make sure they're doing well and they're getting your attention too. And when it becomes a lot, you want to outsource certain activities or require help from other people. And that's the point I had to get to, where managing the property became too much. I got to hire someone, my sister, to do it. Or running the numbers, doing the bookkeeping, so is becoming too time consuming. I need to hire a bookkeeper to do it. Okay, so keep a tight watch on your time and your expenses, and apply for multiple rounds of business credit over and over. Because I said before, your 2 most responsibilities are what? Getting access to what? Capital, and what else? And to deals. So you always want to make sure you're fully funded. That's the number 1 reason why most businesses fail, undercapitalized. You don't want that to be your problem. So you always want to make sure you have rounds upon rounds of business funding so you can have that money team, your cash flow homies, your yes squad. You have so much capital at your disposal that you can be doing deals left and right. And as I mentioned, keep looking for deals. Always. As soon as I close on this 9 unit, guess what? I'm looking for another one. Again, I met with my real estate agent this afternoon for lunch. Met up with the gentleman, and we're already talking about the next deal. Right? Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Alright? So you want to make sure that you're always focusing on the next deal. You want to be smart. Be loyal. Get that next deal. Keep looking for deals because you need an influx of deals and money so that you can always get more properties. So I get it. Starting out, it's going to be difficult because you're trying so hard. It's just like trying to push a car that's in neutral. And let's say the engine is off, but it's in neutral. And you're trying so hard to push. It's tough. But once you start gaining some traction, you're starting to gain some momentum, then it becomes easier to push that vehicle. So likewise, when you get started in real estate investing or with credit, business, entrepreneurial endeavors, it may be difficult for you to get started because you're not used to being self-controlled, you're not used to being on top of your calendar, you're not used to being on top of your expenses, you're not used to getting all these phone calls from tenants and contractors, you're not used to being an entrepreneur. So it's just difficult to get some traction, trying to find the right agent who's going to send you a deal, how to analyze this property or liquidate the credit to cash. So a lot of stuff is hard, just getting started. But once you start gaining some traction and some momentum, it becomes easier and easier and easier. Sooner or later, woo, you cruising, baby. You got your team established. You know the right strategy. You know the right market to invest in. And it's gravy from there, just in the beginning of stuff. All right, so I want you to know that. You can't say I didn't warn you. You might say, oh, this stuff doesn't work. No, it's just tough. Because you're starting out with zero, or some of you may be starting negative, where you have bad credit, no money, you have a lot of inquiries, right? And you might not have certain skill sets, as I mentioned, such as salesmanship skills. You might not have a network. Now, you never networked before, or you don't know about interpersonal skills. You don't know about negotiating. So it's real hard. You're way behind on the 8 ball. And you got to push this thing. But guess what? You will get stronger. Keep pushing day by day because I believe in you and I believe you will become successful. In fact, you are a success. So if I believe it, you believe it. We add our faith together. As 2 or 3 agree as touching, anything they ask will be done unto them. So I want you to believe that and keep at it. Now, I may tell you some stuff based upon my experiences, but I want you to keep going, and you might have to forge your own experiences and your own philosophy. So I had a mentor in New York, but I had other mentors as well. So I realized, okay, his strategies work for this, but in regard to this other strategy, it doesn't work based upon my situation with my market, because my mentor never invested in Pittsburgh. So his market of Georgia, or let's say him investing in New York, may be different because there's different tenancy laws. But in Pittsburgh, it's different. So no, I need to find a mentor in Pittsburgh who has this particular skill set and knows this market. But that mentor in Pittsburgh may not know about creative financing like my mentor in New York. So I'm going to take creative financing from my mentor in New York, the model, but I'm going to take the feet to the ground, boots to the ground approach from my mentor in Pittsburgh. So that's what you want to do. So you might say, hey, I'm going to take the philosophy, the mindset, the creative financing strategies from Juan Pablo, what he has to offer, but I'm going to find a local mentor via my networking event. That's why you're going. You're networking with people so that I can get that boost to the ground experience from that person. And then I'm going to forge my own philosophy of how to invest, my own business model of investing. So that's my aim for you, my friends, to be an independent thinker without you having to have someone tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. That's still being an employee, my friend. As an entrepreneur, you don't have that. Some might consider it a luxury, but I consider it a handicap. You don't have that handicap, brother or sister, whoever I'm speaking to right now. You don't have that luxury, right? That's a handicap. You want to be an independent, free thinker. Say, you know what? I'm going to do things this way and it works. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to perfect it. All right? So that's the roadmap to becoming a total package. And I want you to firmly believe that you're the total package. Even though you might not see the results of it now, you are. One last thing. What's the difference between a fact and a truth? Great question. What's the difference between a caterpillar and a butterfly? What's the difference between an acorn and an oak tree? Potential. Potential. The fact may be that you're unemployed. You might have low credit. You might have no money. You might have no know-how of how to use creative financing. You might not have any real estate in your portfolio. You might not have a positive support group who can help motivate you to get started in real estate or keep going in real estate. You might not have the capital. You might not have none of those things. That's the fact, the caterpillar. But the truth is that you're successful. You're prosperous. You have abundance. You have every resource that you have. You have every resource you need to succeed at your disposal. You have the support group. It's just unrealized, but just keep in mind, in time, you will be converted from a caterpillar to a butterfly. You will be converted from an employee to a prosperous, high-flying entrepreneur. All right? Only thing that you need is just that potential to be realized. So don't let anyone label you, because you can always put a label on something, right? If I put a Coke label on this water bottle, does it make it a Coke? No. At the end of the day, it's still going to be water no matter what I try to label this. So likewise, if someone tries to label you as a failure, as unsuccessful, as an employee, no. They can put any label they want. They can label you any kind of way they want to. But the truth remains the same. You're still going to be water. You're still going to be good. You're still going to be a real estate investor. You're still going to be a prosperous entrepreneur. You are a success. You got to keep that motivation high. As you can tell, I'm very high on motivation because I grew up in an impoverished household. I take care of my family now. You know, I'm kind of like the Joseph of my family. Not to pat myself on the back, but I grew up with certain mindsets that are not conducive to prosperity. But I realized I had to learn as much as I can about prosperity, and I started with the Bible. So that's why you hear me say a lot of scriptural references, because I would read it over and over, brainwash myself to learn more about having an abundance mindset and having prosperity. And then once my mindset changed, my outer world changed. I stopped putting bad seeds in this field of my mind and started putting good seeds in there. Ooh, seeds in which I enjoy the fruit of my labor. Ooh, it's so sweet. Get cash flow is sweet. Ooh, that thing tastes good. You will taste some of it soon. Alright, so stay tuned for the next video. Love you guys. Peace.